Good evening. I'm RC, and I'm back for another episode of Buckwheat Farms, Magic Emporium, and Ballroom. Today's subject, we're going to continue our talk about leveling up, and today, there is no truth. I have a little ritual that I do when I open my magic in the mornings, and it's very simple. I call it the tent ape, where I just make a declaration that there is no truth. Anything is possible, and anything is possible because there is no truth. And I can hear you right now, those religious attitudes, the digging in. But wait a minute, I have a truth. I have the truth. Well, have you ever heard the phrase "true blue"? Yeah. Well, let me tell you a little something about colors. Colors didn't come in, really don't come into existence until the words for the color uh, can come into existence. Blue was relatively late coming into existence. There was black and white first, then red and purple, then yellow and green, and finally blue. In fact, ancient cave drawings show no use of the color blue. Some tribes today still have no concept of the color blue. So our concept of everything depends on our language and what we call it and what we think of it and what we speak of it. So talking about true blue, would that be true blue? Oh, look at all the different colors, even from the different perspectives there. That's kind of neat too. Or what about this? That's similar, but a little different. Oh, this has got to be true blue, huh? It's funny how they're looking similar on the screen here, but this one. Or maybe this is the true blue. Or maybe that one is true blue. But when we hold them up together, we can see, oh, they're all slightly are different. Some substantially, some even more so. You know, if you've been into the hardware store or the paint store, you'll see hundreds, maybe, of different shades of blue, and each one of them came about as an individual tried to decipher and tried to express more clearly his own unique concept of the color blue. And so that's the way it is with truth. And we use confirmation bias to try to I guess reel it in, to try to figure it out. And that's kind of a survival mode for us, because we have to figure out in surviving what's good for us, what's not good for us. That's kind of an important thing. And so we carry that over into everything and into communication. So Og and Ogog decide that they want to talk about the color blue, and this is the color that Og has in mind, but this is the color that Agog has in mind. And so they have to talk back and forth until they can come to a kind of a general consensus and general idea of what the color blue is. The problem with consensus is that it limits all of these other aspects of blue. So blue evolved into all of this vast array here as an act of will, as an act of communication, as an act of intent. And so it is with truth. That truth has all these different aspects and colors, each one unique to the individual, each perspective unique to the individuated expression of the whole. So there is no absolute truth. this is a hard pill to swallow for us, because we've grounded ourselves in so steadily, so rock solid in needing these absolutes. But the evolution in our mind that's coming, the breakout, the ascension will require us to understand a multitude of perspectives beyond our own. And in order to do so, we have to relinquish and loosen our grip on our truth. And a lot of that truth is so emotionally attached because it came from parents or authority figures or people we respect, and so much of it is we've identified as who we are based on those truths. I know personally, I remember back when I first really began this journey to self-actualization, having a debate with someone, and and just being willing to say, maybe, just maybe, my point of view may not be 100% right, and investigating another point of view, it just changed my world drastically. And that's what we're going to need to do. We're going to need to have, so to speak, going into what's coming up. If you're not aware of it, the 21st of December is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. That's the only way I can say it. We are moving into the Aquarian age. There's all kind of astronomical and historical pointers to this, but most of it is you and I, those of us who are sensing something stirring. Even as I'm talking about it, I can sense it. I can feel the kind of buzzing in my head and in my eyes that accompanies that stuff. And you know what I'm talking about. But what's coming is going to require such a drastic shift in our thought processes that we're going to have to abandon those truths and open our understanding to the concept. And now someone, when I've said this on a Facebook thread, and someone said, what about gravity? Well, gravity is the proof of an energy, I guess you would say. But let me give you an example. This point on this paper, a two-dimensional point on a two-dimensional paper, there is an infinite number of lines that you could draw through that. I mean, you'd have to get finer and finer and finer ink, but finer and finer and finer ink. There's a seemingly infinite number of lines you can draw to that point. When you take that point and take it into a ball, there's an infinite number of planes that can pass through that ball. So in each point in time, in each segment of time, there's an infinite number of perspectives and possibilities that can come about in that time. And as we move into the end of times, it's not the end of all time, it's the end of marking time in the way that we are currently marking it. We have to understand an infinite number of perspectives. We have to embrace an infinite number of perspectives. All the things we've been digging our heels in against, all the things that we've been preaching so strongly against are coming to fruition. And those things that we thought were of the devil or some kind of evil intent are actually what we need to evolve to move into this next step. We find ourselves on the cusp of great evolution, and we're moving into a realm of thought and understanding. Old truths will be challenged. Old beliefs will develop holes. Ancient landmarks are going to come down. But it's necessary. We can't carry this baggage into the new paradigm. Hold your truths loosely. We're leaving the cocoon. New truths are arising. Next show, next program, I'll talk about the collective oomph that we need to complete this leveling up. Don't forget, click on the link to the vocal story below. I expound on all this about the color blue and also about the truths, a little more than just the little tidbit that you got here. And also check out the website. There's a link down there as well. I will have a posting of the farm report video on Sunday, telling you what's going on here as far as the permaculture, as far as what our plans are, and how we are starting to share and feed the neighbors as our egg production is really picked up. So we're happy about that. Even with the shorter days, the chickens are coming into pretty good production. But we'll share more about that on the program. But until then, namaste.